All right. I'm sure everyone who is watching is applauding silently. I also wanted to say that I didn't know if Ms. Zulene would be able to join us. I invited her to join the panel, but I know she's had a lot going on, including her son got married. Congratulations. But Ms. Zulene, I sent you an email link to join the panel if you are able, but if you're not, totally fine. But you are more than welcome. You would just need to click on the link and change your name to your name rather than my name. Okay, so Bilal and Kristin, do you guys want to, yeah, let's see your beautiful faces. Thank you so much for joining us. Bilal, thank you for creating this documentary, and Dr. Kristin Motley, thank you for co-producing it for your words on as well. Yes,
Thank
encore.
you.
Thank you. Thank you. Um, I'm going to introduce you two really quick. So I said a little bit about Bilal. Bilal is a board member for Physicians for Social Responsibility Pennsylvania, which we are extremely grateful for your time, expertise, and energy. Obviously, Kristen, we would want you on as well, but you have no extra time, you said, which we understand. Bilal was and Kristen were both raised in Chester, and Bilal worked for the PES refinery until it exploded. I have said to people many times, Bilal was the person running toward the explosion to save the rest of us who live in the area from a much, much worse fate. Um, and So we're really grateful for you on that. And then Bilal became a documentarian, made a documentary about the PS refinery and the community nearby and the conflicts between labor and impacted communities, which is an excellent documentary and is available to the public. I highly recommend going and watching it on his website, which I will post. It's bilalmotley.com. But I will post that link also in the chat. And Dr. Kristin Motley, I said power couple, and I meant it. She is the health commissioner for Chester, as well as being the wife of Bilal Motley, and is the founder and executive director of Health Educated, a nonprofit. Thank you so much for being with us, for sharing your artistry and your expertise. Really appreciate you being here. Before
You.
others speak, did you want to? I just want to open up the floor for you to say whatever words you'd like.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for watching the film and thanks for the love. I just want to say, just really briefly, give a big shout out to Miss Zulene Mayfield because everything that I know about the environmental pollution, the problems in Chester is because of her and her tireless efforts, never giving up for over 30 years. I am new to the environmental health game, and I call her often just trying to pick her brain and understand everything, trying to get caught up. I don't feel like I can read enough to know what is really happening. And she's just a source of inspiration and information for me. So just want to say thank you, Miss Zulene, if you're on. It's just, I'm just learning from you. Goodness gracious, I don't even know how you kept the fight for so long because it has been over 30 years and it's ridiculous that you have to fight for something so basic for so long. But we're going to do it. We're going to get it done. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Amazing. Um, Zulene, if you check your email, I sent you a link to join as a panelist. It's a separate link. And yeah, so look on there and then see if you can okay. See if you can do that. Okay. And Bilal, did you want to give any comments before we open it up a little bit more to questions?
Yes, thanks everybody. Thanks, Linnea, Physicians for Social Responsibility. It's been great being on this board. And thanks, my wife, Dr. Motley. And most importantly, like Dr. Motley said, what Zulene and all the people at Circle and in my hometown of Chester, Pennsylvania, this was the hardest film I had to make because it's about my hometown. Like the one in Philly, like is my adopted, you know what I mean? Like adopted hometown. Philly's embraced me, although I'm not from there. I worked there my whole adult life. But Chester was an extra added pressure. Because I feel like if I got this wrong, had my dad and my whole family's there, You know what I mean? And Zulene #1 circle, I had to make sure I represented the hometown the right way. So just thanks to Circle and C4, this group out of Swarthmore College, these students that are fighting hand in hand with Circle, and the students at Villanova and all over throughout the world. There's a lot of allies working on this. So I just thank you.
And Tanya, do you think that there's any way? Oh, okay, great. Okay. We have video, we have sound. Amazing. Thank you so much for being here, Ms. Zulene Mayfield. Everyone got to see some of your incredible work.
Hey, good
Thank
morning.
you
I mean,
so much.
hello. Yeah, my day is running into nights and everything is going on. How's everybody? I can't see her. Hey,
Great.
Bilal, where you been
How you
at,
doing?
Bilal?
Kristen put me to work. I've been busy.
Where you been at, Bilal? I ain't seen you in a month of Sundays.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
New job too. Yeah.
That's all right.
It's impossible that people don't know you, Ms. Mayfield, but Zulene Mayfield is the executive director of Circle, Chester
Real
resident,
person.
concerned for quality. Chester
He
residents.
just boggled the name. It's all right, Lene. I do it too.
Chester residents concerned for quality living. It's funny, whenever I put it in, Google is like, what circle? Did you mean like something else? I'm like, no, I meant circle. So you do have to type out the whole thing. And we're so glad that you're here. We are incredibly grateful for your leadership within the work against the incinerator and understand that you must be tired. So appreciate your time.
Tired is not even a word anymore.
Doesn't even
But
describe it.
If it was just the incinerator, but it's never just the incinerator. It's always another and another and another and another. And at times it is overwhelming. But we have people that we love. We have children that should be given an opportunity to grow up and live. On Saturday, we just had our They Matter event. And the They Matter event is very special to me because whenever anybody outside the community, particularly people in the healthcare field, or, they always talk about us in terms of statistical numbers and, X amount of people get cancer and this amount of people, 38% of the kids got asthma. And, it always irks my soul because when they cite those statistics, as they should, we can relate back for those of us that live in the community, work in the community, or dear to the community. We know those statistics. We know the people who are dying from cancer. We are burying them. In July, we just buried a 38-year-old man. The same day that he had his first chemo treatment was the day that his son was born. So he literally watched his son being born. Then he was wheeled up to get his cancer treatment, his first one. 5 months later, he was dead. Gone. So, this thing is very real to us. And we can't convey, the impact that it has had on this community, both human-wise, community-wise. If you've taken a very stable community and where the home ownership rate was 81%. It's now below 40% in that area surrounding the incinerator. So we have lost economically. People have literally walked away from their houses. I walked away from mine. The whole block in my area, everybody, they couldn't sell their house. They couldn't rent it. They couldn't do anything with it. So we have to talk about the economic devaluation of our homes, of our community, and the economic hindrance that this incinerator is for our community. We're on the waterfront. PK, don't nobody care. We know where your heart is. Stop putting stuff in the chat. It distracts me.
Yeah, it is. It can be hard to keep track. Yeah, that is definitely something that we don't, I mean, there's multiple things you said that I think we don't talk about enough. And some we talk about the statistics of cancer in a distanced way, but you're talking about experiencing it, seeing it, losing your friends,
Oh,
and
we feel it. We
and
feel
not
it.
knowing when it's you. It could be you next.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And what people have got to get out of, and that's inherently where a lot of racism comes in at. You heard Jeff Brown say, oh, Chester's just Chester. Well, there are a lot of people in Delaware County who had that mindset. Oh, it's Chester. Well, where else are they going to put it at but in Chester? That's a racist mindset. And what, the dark side of me says that, well, you idiots, you allow it to be in our community. You do nothing to raise your voice against it. And you breathe the same air that we breathe. Dodo. We as a community should not have had to fight for everybody else's comfort for 33 years. We fight literally carrying other communities on our back. And because we fight, they have a certain level of comfort. Oh, they got it down there. No, we don't have it. We're tired. We're overwhelmed. Everybody has a dog in this fight. Philadelphians, you breathe what we breathe. This entire region is a non-attainment area. Every day the air is rated either a D or F. So
Someone in the chat just asked, I'll talk a little bit more again about how we can support the legislation in Philadelphia, but I'm wondering if you can answer the question, and because you're talking about the exhaustion and needing help, how can people support Circle?
join us, help us. Raise your voice. An email, a phone call your legislators, call the council people, call the freaking governor and let them know. Call McCormick, who wants to put an LNG in this region and a hydrogen hub and every other undesirable thing that will destroy and wreak havoc on our health. Everybody, if you got a lung, then you should be doing something.
I'm going to paste in the chat your Circle's, the link to join Circle's meetings, so that people can follow, and hear more like in the minute what's happening and how they can support.
There's always something happening.
There's
That's
always
the
something happening.
problem. But it's okay.
Yeah,
So-
definitely not just the incinerator, like you said, so that's the website for, no, right?
Yes.
Circle, great. That folks can go on there and they can find the link to join like the Zoom meetings bi-weekly. And so
Mhm.
when there's something that happens that people want to get behind, I mean, Physicians for Social Responsibility is trying to support with the LNG, and we're gonna send out information about calling legislators and call-in days with scripts. But I think more globally to support Chester and Circle, that is the way that folks can find out specifically about Circle's work.
Yeah. People, and like I said, if you got a lung, then you have a reason to be involved in this fight. And what is more powerful than anything? We don't we don't care about notoriety. We don't care about, oh, we doing this. Oh, we don't care anything about that. We want relief for all of our communities, not just Chester. But I think that people in Delaware County and other areas have to think about this thing on a global level. If it happens there, then ultimately what's going on in Chester creates the air that we all breathe.
Absolutely.
And I think that but at Circle we have to do even more to educate people, even more. Is our literature, readable? Is it relevant? Are we hitting the genres we need to hit? Where else can we put this at? And this video is another mechanism to teach people, and reach people where we can. I can't go everywhere. I don't want to go everywhere. Sometimes I just want to chill. And if they leave us the hell alone for a minute and literally let us breathe, we can do that. But for forever, there has not been a chance to breathe or pause or just go, "Phew, we got that done," because it's a never-ending cycle, and this is the problem in most Black and brown and indigenous communities. Just keep on, send it there, send it there, send it there. As long as it's not out here, people don't care about things until it hits them first person. Long as it's over there, it's okay, because we fine over here. So we have to and particularly now with the reduction or almost non-existent enforcement activities, or everything is being greenlit with no brakes on it. So we are in trouble as a nation as far as what is going to be allowable, without any sensitivity, without any acknowledgement that people are human. And it is nothing more than environmental genocide. That's what it is. It's not climate change, it's climate degradation. And I think we need to start calling it in terms of what it is. We are in a kill zone. That's the sacrifice zone. That's the area that the powers that be have designated. We're going to put it all over there. Same thing as redlining. When they redline, they put us in a certain area and they decide every undesirable thing that they didn't want in their cute communities will come to where the other people lived. That's the
So
racism.
we have a couple more questions. And I'm gonna ask them and you can choose to answer or not. Someone has asked, could we speak to the role, or could y'all speak to the role the DEP has played and what steps the DEP could take?
Listen, we're not even going to get into that bullshit, okay? Everything that we have been able to do to try to get relief, we've done it. We sued the freaking DEP. Okay? The regulations that people think that are in place to protect people, when it get to Black and brown communities, those systems are almost non-existent. Non-existent. We've done every step through DEP that you can possibly do. And even now, yet, still, we have to fight the DEP. It's the DEP, the polluters, and the politicians. They're all freaking one and the same. The polluters by the politicians that create the policy against everyday folks. You go through the hearings. You challenge the permits. No other group has done more against the DEP than Circle has. We sued them on a landmark lawsuit. Nobody had ever done it before. And we did it in the freaking 90s.
Could you
1995.
Can you talk a little bit about that case? Of course, acknowledging that the incinerator is still there, that it didn't solve it, right? As you're saying that.
That case was not concerning the incinerator.
Oh,
It
okay.
was concerning racial discrimination. We sued them because we said that the policies of them issuing permits in Chester, not one permit in Delaware County, but all of the permits were being issued in Chester, all of them. And we said that the program that they were running had a discriminatory effect on the residents of Chester. That's why they were sued. The polluter in That particular case was actually thermopure, not the incinerator. So I don't want people to get comfortable thinking that the Department of Environmental Pollution is there to protect them. It's only a wait and see until somebody, you know, particularly with AI now, with fracking, a pipeline, any other undesirable entity, we're all it right now. So,
I'm gonna, sorry,
go
I'm
ahead.
gonna
Go
do
ahead.
one
I'm
more
going to
question, and
ask
then
you other questions.
I'm gonna give you one more question, and then I'm gonna talk about what folks can do in terms of timeline to sign up for calls and scripts around getting this legislation
Yeah,
moving
yeah.
forward.
Hold on for 1 second, Linnea. I want to answer this, Doctor
Yes, ma'am.
Ned Kettler, Dr. Ketyer. He asked, do most residents of Chester have easy access to primary care clinics and providers? Recently, we had the loss of 2 major healthcare facilities that served our community. That was Crozier and Taylor. So now the access to quality or any healthcare is a very, very difficult process. Most of people in our community and also in Delaware County are being pushed into Philadelphia. They're being pushed out of our community to seek health care. Even in the situation of an emergency, the closest hospital to Chester is about 21, 22 miles away. Most medical emergencies, you got a 3 to 5 window. Heart attacks or whatever else is going on. What I can tell you, they've been able to put all of this shit in Chester, the largest incinerator in the country. We had the largest autoclaver of chemotherapeutic infectious medical waste. They were going to put the largest pet crematory in Chester. You name it, we fought it. They tried to come to Chester. If we had not formed, there would be 3 companies in Chester burning tires as fuel, including Kimberly-Clark, the manufacturer of Scott Paper Company. Our children don't have entertainment. We don't have a market. Well, we got to have a market. We don't have real access to fruits and vegetables. And on top of that, there is not one primary care physician in the city of Chester, 37,000 people. Not one freaking doctor. Not one doctor, not a one. So that's the answer to that. Yet we are being challenged on our right to determine which should be able to come into our community. We were told by Toby Rice, who is the CEO, owner of EQT, one of the largest, he's a billionaire. He came to Chester and he told us that we should be happy that an LNG wants to come to Chester. Look at the good that we would do for other communities, especially our international allies. Don't you think people in Chester would be proud? That's what he said to me. And I said, you know what, sir? I said, I tell you what, we have a lot of programs that you can bring to the city of Chester. We can have a conversation about it because we certainly do need funding. Particularly now more than ever. Not only do we not have healthcare, we have one urgent care facility that operates from 8 to 4. So your ass better not get sick after 4 o'clock. Or else I got to call somebody like Dr. Motley, who is not that type of a doctor, but that's what that is. There's not one doctor. Not one. Am I lying, Chris? You're on mute.
I
I
don't
said I
think
wish you were lying, and it's really it's really it's despicable for
It is.
Chester to be
It
as
is.
populated as it is. There's
It
no
is.
place around the Commonwealth that has more environmental burdens with a higher population than Chester. And it's sickening that this is the reality for people who live there. And we could have 10 hospitals in Chester, but that wouldn't change the cancer rate. It wouldn't change the pediatric asthma rate. It wouldn't change the infant mortality, the heart disease. It wouldn't change any of that because the root of that is being driven by the environment. And that's just what it is. And so we do need a hospital. We do need healthcare providers to mitigate the effects that happen once you have to breathe in toxic pollution. But we could have 100 hospitals, but that wouldn't change the health status. It wouldn't change the health disparities that we see. And so I saw a question about what do I feel about the healthcare. I forgot what the question was, but it was about, what is the solution to the problem? In my mind, the solution is to address the environmental issues because that is the source of the problem. So if you want to fix a problem,
I saw
get to
earlier
the
in
source.
the chat, a while ago, a lady asked, well, if they don't send the trash to Chester, then where would it go? And we've dealt with that question, usually that question used to really piss me off. I've gotten a little bit better, so I won't cuss tonight about that question. But, the bigger question is, if people had to pay, and this was a proposal I said probably in 1993, and said it often and would push it when people would challenge us on, well, if it don't go here, it's got to go somewhere. Oh, okay, well, then let's do this. Let's come up with a mechanism, a fund, where a person put a bag of trash out on their curb. It would be a pay to go, pay to throw type of deal. Every bag of trash that you put out on the curb, you had to pay $250. 50 of that will go to the disposal of the trash. 200 of it will go into a trust fund for every man, woman, and child in the city of Chester. I don't care what you did it quarterly, once a year, whatever. After you had people put their money in this fund for the cost of polluting us, and you would disperse that fund to, like I said, every man, woman, and child in the city of Chester, you would do two things. One, you would be able to take people out of poverty. Number two, people would find some pretty damn inventive things to do with their garbage. And that would not be on the backs of residents in a community who is so ill-equipped. We're not scientists, I've said that. We're not trash managers. We're not waste managers. All we want to do is live in communities that are clean, safe. We want to educate our children, and we want to be comfortable and free from the burdens of everybody else's garbage, everybody else's greed for profits. That's what our desire is. But right now we have an act up in Philadelphia that we support. We found through Delaware County doing a study that landfilling is much cheaper in Delaware County and is less polluting, even when you factor in the transportation costs. It's cheaper and better for us that we landfill the garbage. So we have Delaware County, who's on a trash diversion program to stop sending their trash to the incinerator altogether. That's a good thing. And what we did, we approached them and said, listen, we can't go to Philadelphia or New York and tell them to stop poisoning us when we're poisoning our damn selves. So let's start with you all first. So it's a three-legged stool. And, of course, the the opponents of this said, well, if Delaware County stops sending trash, they'll just get it from somewhere else. Well, let them do that. We don't want to make it easy, and we don't want to participate in our own self-destruction. But see, like I said, it's a three-legged stool. Delaware County is first, City of Philadelphia now, and we are already in conversations with the Manhattan Solid Waste Advisory Board and the Queens Solid Waste Advisory Board. We are in ongoing conversations with them. I've already given testimony, so they can hopefully put some action on diverting their trash away from Chester.
Thank you so much. And to that end, I think we're trying to end around 7, so I'm just going to give some final notes on what folks can do. Because this hearing is on the 17th, like I say, we're going to call these environmental committee members. I put this link in the chat, the Secure Every Action link. I'm going to send out on Wednesday a script and directions on who to call and how. So, if folks have never called legislators before, you're going to have like support in that, and then we're gonna send out more directions for the period between that vote and the
and we're okay with that. But I do have a caution, a disclaimer. There are people that are running around saying that they are speaking for Circle or Chester. Mike Ewald does not speak for us. So any letters that you sign onto and you all think that you're helping Chester, it's not sanctioned by us. We have no association with him, period. So be careful. Nobody speaks for us but us. And everybody know who the hell I am. If there's a doubt as to who's speaking for Circle or the residents of Chester.
Thank you. Yeah. So we've been working with Reclaim as well. And all that phone script, I'm gonna write it. If you, and Reclaim also has put an action toolkit to support this bill, this Gautier bill as well. But like I say, if you want to sign up for directions, that's that link, and you'll get information, and hopefully this bill can move forward and put an end.
Ain't no hopefully, we got to work for it, baby. Okay.
Yeah.
Work.
We will work, and
let's work.
and
We got to
Gautier's
work.
bill will end Philadelphia's participation in environmental injustice.
They gotta feel it, okay?
Yeah.
And I think that you all, I know that Reclaim and a bunch of groups, we met a couple of weeks ago to have a conversation about how, they can support us and support this legislation. I don't give a damn about the politics. We ain't got time for all of that. We dancing through the raindrops to try to get some resolution for our communities. But more than that, it's time for us to come together. We all have to come together, especially in the climate that we are in now. Okay? So it's time to build some bridges, create some allies. That's what I'm doing, okay? We just had a man come up here from Louisiana to give testimony on the LNG on our behalf. So if he can do that from Louisiana, your ass is right in Philly. Let's go.
Amen.
Okay.
And if folks want any other information, I also Gautier put out a one-pager with some more information, kind of answering those questions that you mentioned. I know that Circle has some great resources on your page as well. So if you have any other questions, I'm going to put my email in the chat, and also there was, Circle's has a link on their page to email, and yes, thank you. Erica has posted the link to Circle's website one more time. And keep following PSRPA, Circle, Reclaim. Thank you so much for coming tonight.